All right, what's going on, guys? Uh, this week, we're going to be talking about work-life balance and kind of just making sure that you're staying as close to your homeostasis as possible. As always, I'm joined here by Zach. How's it going, Zach?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just kind of coming down off of the high that is the holidays and, jumping into the new year, making these resolutions and trying to set life up for success in the new year, which is actually something that we're going to be touching on, even though we're really touching on balance.
hmm
So, would you like to take us into that?
Yeah, man. So, kind of the reason I leaned for this subject was I think a lot of people just live in an extreme lifestyle in general by accident or maybe but just by absent-mindedness.
Mhm.
But I see that, that leaks over into everybody's New Year's resolution, or even when they go to start the journey ever, but especially this time of year, I know a lot of people really lean into the whole like new year, new me, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna be shredded, I'm gonna be crazy this year, I'm gonna make $1 million. But that's the problem is it's like $1 million. It's not like I'm gonna save 1,000 this year or I'm gonna save 1,000 more. It's like it's so everyone goes so extreme in one way or the other. Like they're like, I'm gonna take off 1,000 calories. I'm gonna run 10 miles every week. I'm gonna, sleep only 6 hours so I can work out and study more and burn both ends of the candle. And, all these sayings you hear about, like, love David Goggins, but he just like what's the word? He gives a pass for people that love to be extreme with it. Uh but it's good at the same time because some people need that, like a F you get out of bed kind of thing. Some people need to be yelled at like that. But
I mean, I can speak for myself personally. I do get a little bit of energy off of that. I've actually
hmm
just today I finished the Goggins and Huberman podcast.
hmm
I- The part that I love so much because it literally made me laugh was Goggins was like, "It's all stick, no carrot. Like there's no reward. It's just like it's all pain, it's all hurt." And I'm just like, I'm not that. I can't go there, but
hmm
there is a piece of me that's like experience that pain,
hmm
experience what it means to push yourself to the next level. But I do prefer a more balanced lifestyle where I'm also giving myself rest. Because without the rest, I can't keep doing that. And I like to do that. I like to push and push,
Yeah.
push. But eventually, the person, me, whomever, is going to break down if I don't have some sort of balance. And even Goggins is talking in the podcast. He's like, I practically don't have knees anymore. And I just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I get it.
Uh,
What he's about. He's one of one, but that ain't me, and that ain't a lot of people.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you think I want to do this? Sometimes I wake up and stare at my shoes for 20 fucking minutes before I put them on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh
and some
man.
days are like that, and I think that the mindset can come in handy if you're finding yourself hitting a wall, uh,
hmm
because we don't want to be stuck in recovery and rest mode, because then we're just not doing anything. So
Yeah.
sometimes you do need that kick in the butt, like just to get going. But once you've gotten going, once you have some consistency, part of your consistency needs to actually be rest. You need to rest.
hmm
You need to take breaks consistently. Um, I know, so I was a personal trainer for many years now, doing a more holistic coaching side of things. Seeing the nutrition side and the periodization of it all reminds me a lot of the periodization of fitness, where you should absolutely have deload weeks where you're doing way, 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 way less. Sometimes people go, I'm not working out at all.
hmm
And these sorts of things need to be scheduled in throughout the year. And that goes for lifestyle, that goes for nutrition, fitness. So, like, lifestyle, I would suppose that looks like going on vacation. It's a week of rest, you know,
Yeah.
it's a deload week for life. So
That's one I suck at. I'm
yeah.
so bad at that. I don't think I've taken a true vacation ever in my entire life. Like I just recently took like 5 days off and I
Mhm.
was busy like 2 or 3 of them and then I was sick for the last 3 days. So um but it's very valuable, you know.
Huberman actually, to touch on him again, because I watched him a little bit more recently, but he talked
Love the
about
Hubes.
he's good. But I think it was him at least. Hopefully I'm right. But he was talking about stress and how it actually affects our immune system, in that it's not just
Mm,
stress bad for immune system. Like a little bit of stress is actually good for the immune system. It's when it's too much stress when it starts to hurt us. And so he was touching on the phenomenon of people getting sick right before or on vacation, typically.
mm,
And it's because that stress immediately drops. And so our immune system is more vulnerable in that time. Actually,
interesting.
that's so fascinating because it's happened to me. Sometimes it happens after vacation. It's happened to my family members. And it's just like, that's really fascinating. Since we're talking about balance, there's even a balance to the amount of stress that you should be experiencing in your life. It's not just no stress ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know a lot of people, like I listen to a lot of comedians and podcasts with comedians. So I know that they talk a lot about when they travel, there's a distinct difference between their trip when they work out, when they first get there and then for a couple of days while they're there versus if they don't, they just eat and party the whole time. I mean, I know it's kind of an obvious extreme, but it just kind of highlights the point of that, they talk about how much more sharp they are and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And to highlight lifestyle, with my own story, so to speak, here is that when I hurt my lower back and hamstring, like 4 or 5 months ago, it was because I wasn't paying attention to my workout load. So I was working 40 hours at a grocery store job. Even with 3 or 4 hours on the check stand, doing a lot of deadlifting, if you will, picking up cases and going up and down squatting. So a lot of activity, maybe not a lot of hard activity, but a lot of activity. I was lifting 2 days a week and I was currently pushing max outs. And then I also was rolling for 2 classes, so for 2 hours in jiu-jitsu twice a week. And I'm wondering why I got hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so much for no reason. I didn't get anything out of it except for 12 pounds and 4 or 5 months lost of jiu-jitsu now. So, it's way better to just kind of find that spot where you can move the needle little bits at a time and invest in the longevity of your journey. Like social media tries so hard to, 6 pack abs in 90 days, 75 hard, follow this 8 week program, and you're going to be shredded. Like the reality is like everyone tries to live in these periods of like 8 week studies and like you don't live for 8 weeks, man. You live for God willing 80 plus years, like I just that's the reason why I started this whole journey of wanting to be a trainer is I just feel like so many people especially now with the whole like, burning the candles at both end kind of deal. People are just so obsessed with going so hard that I think people forget about future repercussions for going too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big things that stands out to me, and I kind of touched on it before, but if you are a person who wants to go hard and you want to take it to the next level, take a break. Like seriously,
Hmm.
like the best way to get to the next level is to make sure that you're taking breaks, that you're getting rest, that you're sleeping enough, that you're taking your health seriously, not just the gym. Because our health goes so far beyond what we're doing inside the gym. We have to eat well and we have to rest well. Um, and
That's
another
huge,
thing,
yeah.
yeah, and another thing I wanted to touch on you were telling your story about how you got injured and how
Hmm.
a lot to do with an imbalance in your workload. I had a low back hip injury myself many years ago, and it still flares up. And we're talking
Hmm.
7 years later, it still flares up from time to time if I don't take good care of it, do my mobility, stretch. And it's because I was strength training, strength training, strength training, strength training, strength training, heavier, 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 heavier,
Hmm.
stretching. I was an insomniac at the time. I was drinking a lot of alcohol. My whole lifestyle was out of whack. And I thought that I would balance that out just by going really hard in the gym. And what did I get for it? Possibly a lifetime of just a little hitch in my giddy up. You
Dude,
know,
seriously. That's
like
so true.
it was just one moment. One moment is all it
Yep.
took. But really, that one moment was caused by many, many, many days, weeks, months of just doing the wrong thing to my body.
Yep. Okay, so hold on. That was huge what you just said there though, is that I actually in a few podcasts I listened to recently, they had a really good point, and kind of what you just said this made me think of that, and I want to share that is that, you know, stretching and working all these things and getting your body like lubed up for these big lifts and feeling good in a certain point is really, it's good in the moment, but the reality is that your recruitment patterns are developed over your lifetime. And when you're lifting heavy weight, your body doesn't like your body doesn't operate in this like very thoughtful, centered place unless you're like really experienced and you know how to really zen yourself and breathe and yada yada yada. But more often than not, your body just goes to the natural movement it can do. So that's another reason to want to do those deload weeks and like focus on your form and really focus on thinking about it and really working on those recruitment patterns, because like what you just said at the end, you're gonna kind of keep grinding the wrong path, and it's just gonna lead to a lifetime of aches and pains because you essentially reinforced a bad, you know, a bad posture or a bad squat or something like that.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking to all of that there, I think that truly it begins with the lifestyle. It begins with drinking enough water. I mean, before I even get into it, anybody who's watching this and has watched the other ones, you're going to start to notice that we're going to say the same thing over and over and over. Why do we do this? Why do we say the same things? We're not trying to annoy you. We're trying to tell you these basic parts of life will see all of the success. We'll make sure that all of the success comes, basically. Drinking enough
Absolutely.
water, getting enough sleep, getting like low impact activity, not just high intensity, high impact all the time, but
Hmm.
going for a walk, sitting still and just like meditating, relaxing, whatever it is, these important things, that has to be done correctly first. We have to have balance in our life. We have to make sure that we're not taking stress home with us when we're done at work,
Hmm.
because literally we carry stress in our bodies. So if I'm tense because I'm so stressed out because I don't have a way or a process or a protocol to unwind after work, and I get off work, I'm like tight like this.
Hmm.
My boss sucks. And then I go
Yeah.
to the gym and I'm not stretching, I'm not warming up, and I'm like this even more. You can see how this starts to compound and compound.
Hmm.
I'm sleeping enough. Then I'm not eating enough. All of this is stress on the body, and it will result in basically a collapse. Whatever that looks like for you, for me, it was an injury that is a nagging injury that is
Hmm.
annoying, that has like changed the trajectory of our lives for at least a moment in time. So it's important that people really take care of themselves, even just
It,
outside of the gym.
yeah, it really is. I mean, and we really talked mostly about, fitness and lifestyle here, but we can't ignore, the big one that no one likes to talk about because everyone loves food, but nutrition is something that, again, kind of going back to my point earlier, people like to look at in these, 6-week diets, or like, like something that they say on Mind Pump a lot that I like to reiterate when people talk to me about diets is it like, if they're like, oh, this works for me, I'm like, do you want to eat like this until you die? Like, do you want to eat like this forever? No. Does that not sound fun? Then it doesn't work for you. You,
Right.
you, you can't just take on a diet to lose weight and then think when you go out of the diet, you're just literally going to go right back to where you're at, you know? So, uh, you know, I love to coach people. So with nutrition for me, I'm relatively lax. I'm like the cool parent, if you will, when it comes to nutrition. Um, but I really think that unless you have any glaring, you know, things that you want to address, whether it's what your doctor says or maybe you just want to trim up some areas or whatever, I pretty much just love to focus on hitting your protein every day, making sure you're including some healthy fats, and then drinking the water, like you said. And then I know we've both talked about this before, but I really think it is not even like a recommendation. I think it's a necessity at this point, but I think you need to, even if you don't want to go and research and do all the different like little vitamins that we talk about, even just getting a really good, well-rounded organic multivitamin. Um, like it doesn't matter where you get your food source from, it doesn't matter how good we're doing now with everything around the world. The fact of the matter is that a lot of food has less nutrients. So I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but as far as what I understand, even if we reverse now, we're not going to see these benefits changing for a while. So we need to be able to make up this difference, whether it changes or not. And the really easy way to do that right now is a multivitamin. And if you're willing to do a little extra legwork, you can add a couple of them in, like magnesium and vitamin D and K2 and stuff like that, like we've talked about. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like, all right, if I remember correctly, you're a little bit different when you come to nutrition, right?
I mean, I'm pretty lax, and a lot like what you said is I want people to focus on their protein first and foremost, um, aside from their hydration, obviously. 1 for 1, 1 gram of protein for 1 pound of body weight. I think if a person focuses on that goal, and then kind of like backfills in with the, like you said, healthy fats and then non-processed carbs, because of the
No chips, guys.
yeah, because of the satiating effect of protein, a lot of times it's actually you're going to see results pretty much immediately.
Hmm.
Especially, this is super important, if you are resistance training,
Yep. Yes,
not
yes, yes, yes.
not just cardio, 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 cardio. Push some weight. It can be your body weight. It can be body weight
Yeah.
squats and push-ups and pull-ups, but you have to challenge the muscles.
Well, and also, sorry, real quick on that note, don't turn the weights into cardio either.
Right.
You need to be working on your intervals, working on your times, and making sure you're going, with different rest periods and stuff like that. I just, I wanted to add that in there because I think some people will go over and hit the weights like crazy and doing like super fast, crazy, get a sweat going. It's like you're pretty much just you're running, but with weights. Like
Yeah.
it's good, but it's still the same thing. You're not building a lot, you're just burning.
Right. With pretty much every single client that I have had thus far, all of which trying to lose weight, I had to tell them to eat more.
Hmm.
That's the funny thing. I had to tell each and every one of them, oh, I'm seeing what you're eating here. You're basically eating below your BMR, the basal metabolic rate, which is what your
Hmm.
body burns doing absolutely nothing, for those who don't know. You need to eat more. And almost all of them lost weight eating more.
Dude, it was always like add a protein shake here, have a yogurt or a meat and cheese snack here, and like you said, just bumping that protein up, and yeah, they lose weight from eating more, and it blows their mind. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And, you know, there are some that just can't, it doesn't compute,
Hmm.
you know, and there's like, no. But I can tell you right now, say, go do my fitness pal chronometer, macros first, whatever it is, track your food. I'm not saying forever. Do it for like 3 days. Because one, if you are serious about your journey and losing weight and making it a lifestyle, you need to know what's going in your body first. If you don't know, at least do a food journal. But look at that. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm really not eating a lot. I thought I was, but I'm really not.
Hmm.
Eat a little bit more. Focus on getting rid of the processed stuff and getting more protein in there. Try to have protein with every meal. And again, this is like, it's one of those things. We're going to annoy people because we're going to say it over and over again. Protein,
Yeah,
protein, protein. No processed stuff. Um, that being said, give yourself a treat every once in a while because we're not trying to go insane here.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, like if you do that, one, you need to know, knowing first, know what's going in your body, then start making the changes based on what you know. And then it will just slowly become part of your lifestyle. What I like to tell people is pick the worst thing that you eat, like the absolute, like you just know it's like, I'm just putting crap in my body. Take that, replace that with something healthier. Just start there. Just take the
hmm,
worst thing, make that a habit until you're just like, well, this is just what I eat now. And
yep,
then do it to the next thing, the next worst thing, and then the next worst thing. And soon enough, you have mostly whole foods in your diet. You've lost weight. You're eating more. You have better energy. Your workouts are better. Your sleep is better. Your stress is better. You know, wow, everything's better because, whoa, you started taking care of yourself. Who'd
yeah.
have, who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of replacing the bad with the good stuff, I've tried only twice, so I can't say I've had it a lot, but it was good both times I made it. Have you ever tried the cottage cheese ice cream?
No.
So essentially, what you do is, okay, I might butcher it because I'm gonna try to remember it off the top of my head. So you do whole tub of cottage cheese, honey, peanut butter, and then if you want, you can like put in chocolate or like after those three, you can kind of put whatever you want in for your ice cream.
Mm,
Um, and then if you want just like some straight up vanilla, you just put some like vanilla in there, and then you blend it up. So that's the whole trick. You gotta blend it up, and then you freeze it for like an hour, hour and a half. And when you put it in there for like that hour and a half, you can like scoop it out like it's like ice cream consistency, and it's like chocked full of protein. It's like so much, it's crazy how much protein. I added it up. It was like a bowl of ice cream that I would usually eat, which is a big bowl of ice cream. I would preference it with that. It was like 50 grams of protein. It was crazy for a bowl of ice cream.
that's crazy.
Um, but yeah, it was really good. But the one thing I will say is that it does kind of suck because after that like hour and a half, 2 hours, it just gets harder to where it just comes out like a bowl of so you might have to do the thing where like you let it freeze, and then if you know you're gonna want more, then you like set it down,
Mm,
or like maybe portion it out into smaller pieces that you can set down in the fridge for the day or whatever.
yeah.
But stuff like that, it's fun to mess around with.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. I'm glad that my wife wasn't around because she is not a big fan of cottage cheese. She would have heard you said that and be like, never,
Same.
never.
She didn't
Yeah.
have any of it. I don't care. It was good. I ate it all up.
Yeah. We're just like, where's the protein? We're
Yeah.
just we're just those guys, and it's okay to be
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
And, but we have wives that are like, where's the good stuff?
Seriously. It's funny you said that, dude. I really genuinely never realized I was someone that looked at food like, oh, this is nutrition. This is giving me protein. This is giving me greens. Most people just look at it like this is gonna taste like that. It's gonna taste like
Yeah.
this. And I'm just like, That's really like a secondhand thought to me. Like I want it to taste good for sure, but like I can sit there and power through some microwaved rice with some tuna, with a little bit of mustard or ketchup on it. And be like, all right, here we go.
Dude,
Like
literally canned tuna with a little bit of salt and pepper is like a snack for me. By the way, my wife is Italian, so she knows food.
oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm not saying that I got it figured out. I'm just like you, like food is fuel. And she's like, no,
hmm
food is a friggin' experience. What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah,
Both
it is.
true, both true.
What I'm experiencing is some muscle gain and some
Yeah.
fat.
Oh, that's so true though. Oh, that's funny. I like that. Yeah, it's literally it's almost the exact same here. My wife's not
Back
Italian, but she definitely enjoys food. And I love food. I'll pig out, but like we said, I look at it more of like numbers than anything.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. Like, if you do have a partner that is more, say, like pleasure oriented with food,
Hmm.
it's not a problem. I think that that brings balance into our lives, as I'm sure that you've experienced with your wife. It's like,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
if I'm left alone with food, it's gonna start looking weird. Like everything's gonna be like a protein version of
Yeah,
everything. Like have protein cereal and like protein yogurt, and
dude.
you know,
If it's left to me, everything is some version of rice, protein, and veggie. I just literally can't. I mean, like every now and then I'd venture out, like I'll make some tacos,
Mhm.
or like, or like I'll grill some burgers or something like that. But
Yeah.
one of my favorite, and I know this does not have a lot of protein in it, but I love it. It's a childhood nostalgia meal I cannot ever get over. But one of my favorite meals to meal prep, and it's so funny I'm saying this, but is all beef hot dog franks and mac and cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it's so good.
I love
Like
that.
I do get I get they're like I think they're like 8 or 9 grams of protein per hot dog. They're like really good, like they're organic ones I get from my store. Because that's the one thing I will not get like bar S or something crazy like that. But then yeah, I've been trying to look for like protein powder that's good to bake with that's unflavored. Do you have anything like that?
Protein powder.
Yeah, like I know like people like use it to like make protein cookies or like you're like making a sauce that needs milk so you can add some unflavored whey protein to like beef it up a little bit.
I I actually haven't ever baked with any whey powder. Um,
Looks like we gotta experiment, man.
the closest I've done is like overnight oats or
Yeah.
smoothie. It's the standard stuff. But I do know that people do it. I know. So we have a Sprouts by us, which is kind of like a Whole Foods.
Oh yeah, no
Mm.
sprouts.
Yeah, and so they have like their little center area where they you can scoop out stuff yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whey protein. It's an unflavored whey protein.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't baked with it, but I know that that's there. The thing that I will say about unflavored whey protein for anybody who wants to go down that route, it has a very particular smell.
Yeah.
Say it like that. You may not be pleasantly surprised, but you will be surprised.
Oh, you'll be surprised for sure. Might want to consider opening it up outside the first time.
Yeah,
That would be my suggestion.
yeah.
That was like the first time I took creatine was
Mhm.
I could taste it. I was like, this tastes like I'm drinking chalk.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
like just crushed up bones is what I equated to.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
all right,
Anyway,
man. I think we
all balance.
all balance.
And even when we don't have it, we have people in our lives that make sure that we get some balance.
That is true. That is true. Something we can touch on sometime in the future, but making sure the people around you want you to be healthy, genuinely, not just like shredded and eating low calorie and looking crazy. you know, having those people around you that to support you in that journey, no matter the ups and downs, is a massive part of it as well.
Yeah. You know, I know that we're going to be ending this really soon, but something you just said made me think. Uh, Another part of the balance is to understand that what a lot of people are seeing on social media is not balanced.
Hmm.
The fitness influencers and the people who are on gear, who are like dehydrating themselves to look the way that they
Seriously.
look, that who are photoshopping themselves, that's not balance. And if that's your comparison, then you won't ever be in balance. Like you will always be out of balance if you are comparing yourself to these people on social media. I'm a victim. Like,
Hmm.
I look at it and I'm like, that dude's jacked. Like I kind of wish I looked like that, but then I have to remind myself that's not real. Like it's just it's not realistic. That's not the life that I'm living. That's not a balanced life. That's not even really a happy life. That is so many health complications that come with looking like that, and that's what people aren't.
Hmm.
Those people aren't healthy. If they really look like that, if it's not Photoshop, they're not healthy.
Mm-mm.
So I just wanted to touch on that because social media is such a big part of our lives now, and there's so much imbalance that is just preached on there. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that could be a leap into a future subject then.
Absolutely.
'Cause I like that. I could expand on that too, but we're hitting our time here.
Yeah,
So, well, I think we had a good talk on balance here. I think that this is probably the start to several conversations that we'll have about it because it's such a nuanced topic that you could just talk about for hours.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I think that we touched on everything. I don't really have anything else. I think that anybody who watches this episode is going to have a pretty good understanding of what it looks like to live a balanced life, and to also see that the people, us, who are telling you to live this balanced life, we do it as well. Like, we're not out here just trying to be perfect. We're trying to be perfectly imperfect in a sense. Like,
absolutely.
where do I give myself a break? And so I think it's just good for people to know, like, we are absolutely practicing what we preach here. We're not trying to really like stand out and ahead of everybody else. Like, we're right here with you. We just happen to have studied something very particular. We're just trying to share that. But we are normal people. It's
Absolutely.
funny, like over the holidays, I kept getting like these questions and looks like while everybody's eating and enjoying themselves, and I am too. But it's like, you're the fitness guy, you're the health guy. Are you looking at my plate? Don't look at my plate. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, enjoy, enjoy.
Yeah.
Look at my plate, for goodness sake. Like, look at
Yeah. And you're like, what?
yeah, like
I
got
got
mashed potatoes falling out of my mouth.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
just live
funny.
a balanced lifestyle, enjoy yourself, enjoy the people around you, eat good food, and take care of your body. It's not a detriment to our lives to take care of ourselves. It is an improvement to our lives.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
All right, man. Well, I think that was a good send off. I am I am excited to see what these future topics bring. Um, I think that we're gonna be able to really deliver some good content, man. Uh, this has been fun. This is a really fun conversation. I liked it a lot.
Me too.
All right, man. Well, till next time, guys. Make sure you're following it on Facebook. That's where we give a lot of updates on weekly topics, and we also field questions there about topics, and we're willing to take suggestions as well for topics. So, all right, guys, have a good one.
God bless.